Hey guys, it's Leanna. Guess what? Funded. Lady Bits is funded. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. It's happening. Whoa, I'm vibrating like the Flash. Yay. So this was supposed to happen last week, but this thing took off like a rocket. So I made this 30-day plan for what I was going to talk to you guys about at what time, and it rapidly went out the window. I realized quickly, because it funded very quickly, it funded in 6 days, that I hadn't actually planned for a space in the content for when it was funded or any reactionary stuff, but that's okay. The stuff I was supposed to show you last week, I'm going to show you now. And that's why this video is pre-recorded. There will be some sort of live stream probably today. I have not decided yet as I'm recording this. Stay tuned to Twitter. I'll put it in the description box here when it's going to be. Much like the feedback sessions that will happen if you back at those tiers, I am trying to spread out the times of the live stream so people with different schedules in different time zones can participate at different times. Today, the reason I'm not going live on this is I intended to do this on Friday, and we had such a great conversation in the live stream and people asked so many great questions. We talked for 2 hours and I didn't have a chance to do it. So what I am going to show you here is some of the visual design elements of Lady Bits. Now that it's real and this is really happening and I have to put up or shut up and I can actually start ordering this stuff now. Yay! I want to show you guys what I have in mind. And I just have it open in Photoshop documents because it is very much a work in progress. But here we go. I'm up at the corner now. Hi. Here we have the Lady Bits set ideas. And you will notice, first of all, I did Photoshop cats in Momo and Delilah are there because it's very likely going to be shot in my house, in the studio I have in the basement. Why? It's the best use of money. If you're using somebody else's space, sure, they're paying the hydro, which is ridiculous in the province of Ontario, but you're rushed. It's not your space. If you forget something at home, you're kind of screwed. Here, it just makes the most sense to do it since we have the equipment here, not tote it to some, YouTube studio or something like that, especially with the set pieces. All those would have to be transported and stored remotely, and that becomes its own thing. I know because we're doing the Ed the Sock Live from Canada show, and stuff that's in a communal storage, it gets bumped, it gets moved, things drift, it gets damaged, it's better to just be able to have a standing set that we can set up and leave in a space we can control. And if we want to shoot at 3 o'clock in the morning, we can shoot at 3 o'clock in the morning. But you'll see that it's going to be a very modern look, very neutrals meets Technicolor, as I'm calling it, heavy on the purples. I picked that because it's a feminine color that isn't screaming pink, but all the items, I like the way the neutral gray plays with the purple. The nice thing about gray in a television set is you can put lights on it and change it up depending on what you're shooting in a really easy way. You don't have to repaint. You just splot a gobo on it. That's one of those little light discs that makes patterns, and you're off to the races. You'll notice it is very minimalist with shots of color. I really like this sort of rainbow mosaic accent because this is games. Games are colorful. I put the Mario mushroom in here because this is what people think of. And you'll notice I put some of my favorite game characters in here. And if you look really closely, yeah, I did put the sunglasses on Boo. See, Boo's wearing sunglasses too. But again, these are just ideas. I am not going to use a licensed character on the set. Just can't, not worth it. We'll do approximations. And one of the things that I didn't get here, because somebody just gave me the idea today, and because they were like, okay, I'm a backer now, so put my dog somewhere, like a picture of my dog. I'm like, oh wow, what a great idea. instead of, because it's somebody's dog's name is not as cute as actually having some sort of bulletin board where people can send pictures of their pets and we can put it there, or one of those like revolving picture frames, you know, the ones that are digital and it's just digital photos and they refresh. I thought it would be really cute to have one of those of people's pets somewhere, like the Friends of Momo Club. But so this is the, and this shelf is really, really important to the idea, because one of the things I learned making A Gamer's Guide to Feminism was that people miss episodes. People come on board later, and when that happens, they can miss ideas. I start getting doubling back. So I wanted some, yes, every episode needs more to be more self-contained than Gamer's Guide to Feminism was. But the other thing is I want some sort of visual representation of the completion of the series, so people can look at it and go, okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 objects here. I missed an episode somewhere. And that I decided to emulate video game trophy cabinets. You know, those things where it's not just achievement unlocked, you actually get something where you can go in and look at all the things. And multiple games have done that. Tomb Raider and Uncharted give you the little artifacts you can find around the game. I did some preliminary designs for the first 6, so you guys can see some of the ideas I had. So these things are going to be going in this shelf. That's what these are. These are going to be built and they're going to go in that trophy case. And you see I kind of mixed them up as much as I could between landscape and portrait orientation. So some of them are taller, some of them are shorter, some of them are square, some are longer. You'll notice it's only the first 6 because, well, I wanted to leave the design. First of all, I didn't want to get ahead of myself. We're aiming for that $25,000 stretch goal now. And more on that in a bit. I want to go through this first, though. You'll notice that the Lara Croft episode has the pistols and the bow. That might be my favorite one of all of them. This is what gave me the idea. It's like, what can be symboled without, like, oh, boobs? Well, it's the weapons, right? The type of weapon changed. The default weapon changed significantly from the original Tomb Raider and the rebooted Tomb Raider. The others, I like the simplicity of the accusations of sexism episode. I had something way more complicated, like a scale and everything like that, but I really like the simplicity of just the megaphone with sexism on it. I like the, yes, because you know, joystick penis with the women's symbol. Yeah, that was deliberately cheeky. You guys may notice that there's a lot of cheeky humor in this show. That's very deliberate because it's fun, but also because, you know, I want to make it clear this is a different thing. This has not been done before with games. This is a different approach to these subjects. The one I'm least happy with is this one, just because it's too cluttered. I prefer clean designs. The simpler the visual idea, the better, because it is going to be in the background and it is going to be sitting on a shelf. But this is what the feedback sessions are for. People can go, no, I really like it. Okay, I'll keep it. Or they can go, well, consider this. There's a couple people who have volunteered their services for art, so this sort of goes to them. And then they clean it up and make it look snazzier, all logo-y like. The next, I don't remember if it's 6 or 7, it's a complete 13, but I don't remember if that includes the bonus episode. The complete 13 are not designed. One, I didn't want to jinx myself. The other, I want that to be more involved with the feedback group. Let people submit their ideas. In part because, you know, if somebody's an aspiring designer, visual designer, and they can use this as a credit. But another thing came up that made the trophy design thing not being done for the back 7. I think it was 7, 6. I have to look it up. I should have looked this up. Sorry. But there was a gentleman I was talking to. He lost his wife not long ago. She died quite young of a medical thing. I won't get into details. We'll because I haven't gone through with him and found out how much he wanted to disclose. He said he's okay with me talking about this element of it. And I'm not gonna open up something that's gonna cause him grief, but that is okay. But he wanted to have his wife's name put on the set instead of his for his donation. He said to me, I really think that this is a project she'd be right on board with. They apparently met in World of Warcraft, and he told me the whole story, and I'm sitting here going, the feels. I'm not that much of an asshole, guys. I mean, I do connect to things like this. And so I said, look, I think we can do better. You know me, big ideas. And so I said, you know, I didn't want to get his hopes up too much. I explained to him, like, we don't know if it's going to be funded, but if we hit that $25,000 stretch goal, which is very possible now. This is why I'm talking about it now. This is our next target. Which of those additional episodes do you think she would have liked the most? And he said, probably the misogyny in gaming episode, that, you know, the examination of whether, you know, misogynistic content is always so bad. And so we're going to make that little trophy for the case, sort of a small memorandum of a woman who loved video games and whose husband obviously loved her, just because I can. And because it's a little thing and he's not paying any extra money for it, nothing like that. This is just the gaming community. And so, you know, the fact that she had a World of Warcraft character kind of makes that make sense. And how do you visually depict misogyny anyway? It's like, okay, fine. It would be a bad thing, but it's like, okay, instead it's this nice thing. It's kind of going against the grain on that one. It's a woman's voice in gaming that still can be expressed, still can be told in a way. Hey, she was here, right? So that's what we're doing with that one. And so you know, it's now really personal for me. Now it's like, okay, this thing's funded. We're doing 6, we're doing 13. I've been around the TV block so long that it's like 6, 13, whatever. Yeah, awesome. Now I kind of feel a personal drive to hit this goal. You know, I want it because of this. I want to do this. But the last thing I want to show you guys is the way the character designs are going to, in broad strokes, work. The point counterpoint can get long-winded and boring if it's not done effectively, and making it a dialogue, I think, is more interesting than, well, here's one point of view, and just to outline it completely and take 12 minutes to do it. And here's another point of view, and then a point counterpoint on, you know, the bullet points of the issue, I think, is a much more effective way, and a back and forth. So I came up with this idea of characters. Instead of it just being right, left, and seeming like a crazy person, I wanted to actually embody the points of view. And so this is what I came up with. Now, it will not necessarily be full-blown cosplay for these characters, but I want the outfits to at least invoke the idea of these characters. The Lara Croft one was easy. I just picked the rebooted one, which is a fairly easy costume to put together. Take white tank top or grayish tank top. Take cargo pants. Make dirty. Done. And then I just selfishly chose the outfit. I know some people have the teal shirt, tan shorts, but this was my favorite era of the pre-reboot Tomb Raider games. I felt that's like when they really solidified the story, and we really got into Lara's character and that Byronic quality she had, you know. And so I very selfishly chose the Legend Underworld costume. I believe that's it. I'm pulling from memory, but this was sort of my favorite era. And so it'll sort of invoke these as, you know, the Be It Resolved rebooted Lara is more feminist, be it resolved that, you know, pre-reboot Lara is more feminist, and we'll go back and forth that way. The sexist moments in a sexist game, it's Leia and Leia. I have the Leia bikini, so this is going to be something that the feedback group is going to help me with, figuring out whether this is over the line. And I'll figure it out, but I included these as the idea because this is the example I use of, well, yes, Princess Leia is in a slave girl outfit for a couple of scenes in Return of the Jedi. But for the rest of it, she's dressed in, you know, like covered up all over the place and very breezy and comfy. And hey, I'm like, hey, I get to be comfy for an episode. But yeah, that was sort of the idea, is do you say that all of Return of the Jedi is sexist because she's a slave girl in one scene? No, she choked the shit out of Jabba with his own chain the first chance she got. And so that's sort of the inspiration for that episode. I do not know how on the nose that's going to be. The complaints about sexism, I do have an Ivy Valentine cosplay. That makes the wardrobe easy. Obviously, we don't have a ton of money for additional wardrobe, so that matters. And then I picked computer programmer Barbie as I didn't want to use a real person for, you know, sort of the real world game developer character. These are just inspiration ideas to see how it'd work. You know, it isn't going to be me talking to me in the exact same clothes. It's going to be personification of viewpoint versus personification of viewpoint, because I want it to be very, very clear. These are not my ideas. These are me presenting a series of arguments and letting you guys decide. It's the entire focus of the show. This is the concept, right? You'll see on the dev team, it's not always binary. On this one, I realized there were kind of 3 points of view. One was a bit of a troll point of view. And I just thought I was going to use the gamer guy from South Park again, but he used that a lot. So I picked Sora Cartman on the World of Warcraft episode so he can kind of kick in. Who cares about any of this, you guys? It is important to, especially based on what I've seen on Reddit, to express that kind of, I don't care, god damn it, point of view, you know? So, and it's fun. Cartman voice is fun. You know, I don't know how I'm gonna do a lot like this. I do the whole thing like this, like, okay guys, okay, you guys kind of double chin. I start losing it. We'll figure it out. But or just shoot it from a really bad angle so I get that nice British profile going. But female characters, same way. There's a few ways of going about it, and this is sort of embodied in my head in Aloy from Horizon Zero Dawn, which, again, I already have the makings of an approximation there, so it will be easy. I'm not sure whether I'm going to invest in a Princess Peach cosplay or just use the sort of kawaii outfit I already have. It's yellow, pink, and blue, but not in the same approximation, so I can still use my hair. I just think that she's one of the most instantly recognizable characters in gaming, and she has taken a lot of crap. And obviously, Chel's a really easy thing to do because it's orange pants and a white shirt. And I'm not going to write aperture on it. I'll think of something funny. We'll brainstorm what we want that to say. Wrecked him, damn near killed him, or something like that. I don't know. But obviously this is all very tongue-in-cheek. And then the objectification one. This is the one I'm like, whoa, boy. This is in my head. Can I make this work? It's the Silent Hill nurse and Bayonetta. And obviously I will not be able to, to sound like this the whole time, talking through the bandages on her face. But I wanted to kind of get the idea of survival horror deliberately objectifies characters all the time to be scary. And I might need you guys seriously, it's a waste of time character again there too. I'll see once it's written. And that's what I wanted to show you guys today. And this is what I keep getting derailed from doing because the chats have been so good and people have asked such great questions that didn't get the chance, through no fault of my own, or no fault of anybody's. I mean, it was good talks. I realized I can't present information in those because they're too freeform, they're too freewheeling, and that's what makes them great. But I do need to get this information out, and I will be, like I said, I will be putting this up on the Kickstarter page, so you'll be able to peruse them sort of at your leisure. But hope you like it, because we are funded. Yeah, I need to start showing this stuff. There have been some sort of, I won't call them haters, because I think financial responsibility questions, even if somebody's coming from the wrong place, there's no harm in answering them. And by wrong place, I mean they're a known troll that's just trying to start shit. I think it's fair to provide as much information about what is going on. So obviously, you know, one source of the funds, like where is this money going, is to supplement the costumes that I don't yet own. And obviously using a lot of my existing stuff, like, okay, the Ivy costume I got, the Leia bikini I got, but I'll have to make something evocative of episode 4 Leia, you know. That is part of the 4-month lead time, and that is part of what the costs are going to be there. And obviously I'm going to keep the wardrobe costs down as much as I can without skimping on a great idea. And so that's, you know, that's part of the cost. And then of course, like black wrap and tape and all that stuff, electricity, that sort of thing. It's going in. And yeah, that's not all of it. This is part. I mean, part of it is going to go into making the trophies, right? Like, this is all going to have to be built. This all costs money. So yeah. So there's a bit of where your money is going to go into, these fun sort of things that, you know, are just going to make the show colorful and entertaining and fun. And that's the other reason I'm doing this, is to show that this is different. This has not been done before. But I think I'm rambling at this point. Glad you guys enjoyed the 300 episode. I did have the makeup to talk about, but this has gone on too long, so maybe I'll save it for Friday if it comes out. I still can't get my head around this. I'm not used to this level of positivity, which is great. Maybe that's an indication that I should get used to this level of positivity, right? Right. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you later today for the promised live stream. Okay? Okay. Good stuff. Bye.